Have you ever judged a person, a culture, or even an entire country based on just one story you heard about it? Maybe it came from the news, a movie, or something someone casually said. What if that story was only a fragment, a single thread pulled from a much larger tapestry? Today, we explore why one story can mislead us, limit us, and shape our reality in ways we don't even notice. In her influential TED Talk, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie introduces us to the idea of the danger of a single story. She begins with her childhood in Nigeria, where most books she read were British or American. The characters drank ginger beer, played in the snow, and talked about weather she had never experienced. Without realizing it, she began to believe that real stories, meaningful stories, belong to other people in other places. Her imagination had borders she didn't choose. Adichie describes how a single story forms. When a person or culture is viewed through only one perspective, repeated often enough that it becomes the default truth. As a child, her writing reflected characters she never met, in worlds she had never lived. She internalized a belief stories about her own world weren't meant to exist. Years later, when she went to college in the United States, she experienced the other side of the single story. Her roommate was shocked that she spoke English fluently, enjoyed pop music, and used a stove without difficulty. To her roommate, Africa had one storyline: poverty, war, and helplessness. Not because she was cruel, but because that was the only story she had ever been given. The real danger of a single story is this: it doesn't just create misunderstanding, it creates a power dynamic. Those who tell the story define the truth, and those who are left out lose control of their own narrative. Single stories flatten identity. They turn vibrant, complex human beings into headlines, stereotypes, or symbols. When we only hear one narrative about a place, we stop seeing individuals. When we only hear one narrative about a person, we stop seeing humanity. Stories shape perception, perception shapes belief, and belief shapes behavior. But the solution is not to avoid stories, it is to multiply them, to widen the lens, to challenge the default. Adichie reminds us that when we seek out diverse stories from different cultures, voices, and perspectives, something powerful happens. We begin to understand people not as categories but as individuals, not as stereotypes but as layered, living, evolving humans. Chimamanda Adichie leaves us with a profound truth. The problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. A single story can rob someone of dignity, complexity, and identity. But many stories restore balance, curiosity, empathy, and truth. So today, pause and ask yourself, is the story I know the only story, or just the easiest one to repeat? Read a book from a culture you don't know, listen to someone's lived experience, question narratives that feel too simple, and when you tell your own story, tell it boldly because your voice adds to a world that needs more perspectives. Remember, no one is defined by a single story, not a country, not a community, and not you. So, students, if you have understood this lesson, please subscribe to my channel, like, share it with your friends, and comment below your thoughts on it. Thank you for watching.